of you have asked this question: how can I start this process? What do I need to do? I have seen my occupation in the occupation list. What is the next process to go through? Not to worry guys, in this video I'm going to be sharing step-by-step process if you want to migrate to Australia through any of the general skilled pathway or employer's visa. I'm going to be telling you all you need to know. If this is the kind of video you want to watch, please watch till the end because I'm going to be dishing out a lot of things here. And please also give a thumbs up to my video before you continue watching. It helps YouTube to push it to a wider audience that need this information. Without wasting much of your time, let's go straight to the video. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Uche, and today, like I said, I'm going to be telling you guys step-by-step process you need to know if you want to migrate to the general skilled immigration pathway. I have done a video of all the pathways, or most of the pathways you can come to Australia. If you have not watched that video, I'll be leaving the thumbnail so you can go and check it out to see which pathway that will be suitable for you or your family. So what I'm going to talk about is the step-by-step process for general skilled immigration pathway, which is the 189, the 190 and the 491. I have also done a video about this. I will also leave it in my description box so you can check it out. So this is a pathway that most people come in with to Australia. I also came in with this pathway, and the three subclasses that I have mentioned, they are different, but it's the same process that you can use in getting it. The other pathway that most people use now is the employer-sponsored visa. So you must have a skill for you to be able to get an employer to sponsor you, and not just the skill. You must meet the requirement for that employer, meaning having the years of experience, and most employer will want you to have a certification for that particular job you're going for. Some will even ask you to have English test before they will sponsor you. What I always tell people is, if you're going through the employer's visa and it is not working out, try the general skilled immigration pathway. First thing you need to do is make sure that you have your occupation in the occupation list. So there are general occupation lists for Australia, which they always change every year. They can remove some occupation and they might add some occupation. So always be on the lookout for it. And how can you find the occupation list for your occupation? Use your Google, type in occupation list Australia. It will bring you to Home Affairs page, which I will also be showing you here. Then check your occupation. Let's say, for example, customer service manager. You will see your occupation there. In that same place, it will show you the assessing body that will assess your document, and also the visas available for that your occupation. So what you need to also know is the various visa subclass. When you have seen your occupation, the second step is to do your point test calculator. Australia General Skilled Visa is a point test, which means you have to score minimum of 65 points for you to be eligible to even apply for this visa. I have done a video on how you can check your points. If you haven't seen it, I will also leave it in my description box. How can you go and check your point? You can also go to the Home Affairs website as usual. Type in point test calculator for particular visa you want to come in with. Then you can input your details. What you will have in mind that if you're going for a 190 occupation, the state that will sponsor you would give you additional 5 points to add to whatever that you already have. If you're going for 491, you would have 15 points added to the point that you will accumulate. This point will be added to you during your expression of interest. But when you're playing with the point test, you can add it to know, okay, this is an idea of what I'm going to be scoring if I am going for this particular visa. So once you have seen that you are eligible to apply through your point test, the number 3 step you're going to do is to assess your document. You know that place you saw your occupation? Yeah, in the Home Affairs. You can go back there, click on your occupation again. Under it, you would see your assessing bodies, because a lot of people have been asking me, how can I find my assessing body? There are over 15 assessing bodies in Australia that assess various occupations. Depending on the occupation you're coming with I assessed with VitaSess. VitaSess assessed with a lot of other occupations too. So it's good for you to know that you can find your assessing body through your occupation from Home Affairs. So once you click on that, it will direct you to your assessing body's website. Then you can go there and read all the requirements you need. If you're one of the people that would use VitaSess, VitaSess would want your university or your college to send them your transcript direct from school. You cannot do it by yourself, and also your certificate. They would also need a pay slip, a tax, or a statement of account from you. Either of them can go. They also need your offer letter. If you've had any promotion letter, you can put it up. And they would also need a reference letter from your organization. Reference letter can be from any of your supervisor to your administrator, anybody that knows you professionally in your organization that you work directly with can be your referee. Remember that you need to get a positive assessment for you to go to another level. So you need to give them all that I have mentioned here if you're using VitaSess. If you're using like Engineering Australia for engineer, TRA, that's Trade Recognition Australia for anything that has to do with trades. If you're a hairdresser, a baker, a chef, a mechanic and all that, then TRA is for you. If you're an ICT person, then ACS is for you, and some other ones. So these are the ones that I can mention offhand. Assessing bodies take up to 8 to 12 weeks to get back to you, but some you can do fast track. I know that VitaSess also does fast tracking, but you have to pay extra to get that. If you want to know the amount it will cost you, please check out the website so you will know which one is, because each assessing body have their own assessment fee. Once you have applied for your assessment, then you can go ahead and do your English test. Some occupations might ask you for a competence in English, which is you must have 6 in each band of English test. Most common test that people use to come here is either IELTS or PTE. So whichever one that you're comfortable with, you can write it. Once your assessment is ready and you got your positive assessment and your English test is ready, the next step you need to do is go to Skill Select. Skill Select is another page in Home Affairs where you can express your interest to the states that want to sponsor you. When I say states that sponsor, doesn't mean that it's the states that will pay for your fee. No, you'll be the one to pay for your fee. Rather, the state will give you additional points. This is for people that is coming for 190 and 491. If you're coming with 189, you don't need to apply for state sponsorship. They would pick you from your expression of interest. So once you have done your skill select, that positive assessment you got from your assessing body and your English test, you need to put it down there. They might ask you other questions like, who do you want to bring to Australia? You list down your family members. If you're not married but you're engaged, or you're living with your partner and you can prove that you have been living together, you can also put all that evidence there. So you do your expression of interest. You can do more than one expression of interest to different states, or you can click all of them at once, that all. So whichever states that picks you. Once you have done the expression of interest, what you need to do now is to go to those states that you know that they are open for your occupation. Check out their requirements as well, because one thing is for you to do expression of interest. The other is to be sure that there is a state open to accept your expression of interest. So go there and check out their requirements. Some of the states might ask you to show proof of fund, like Queensland would ask for proof of fund and your valuation of property, whatever you have. I know that Northern Territory would also ask you that. South Australia, NSW, and some other states would not ask you that. So be sure to check out the states, check out what they need from you. Some would also ask you for application fee for applying to that state. So once you have gathered all the information they need there, Most of them will be that proof of fund, statement of purpose. That's tell us why you want to come to our state. So you can talk about people, culture, work, weather, work-life balance, and all that. If you are accepted, they will issue you what they call invitation to apply. Once they have given you that invitation to apply, they would also give you 60 days to apply for your visa. So with that, the next step for you to do is apply for your visa. So all the documents that you use in getting your expression of interest, that's your assessment, your English and all that, you would bring it to your visa now. And they need to also see evidence that you use in getting that positive assessment. So that's where payslip, the reference comes in. Medicals, you can also get your yellow fever vaccine, your polio, because they will ask all of that, and apply for your visa. Once you have done that, you just need to wait for the outcome. These are the process you need to go through if you're coming through the General Skilled Immigration pathway. Please always use the Home Affairs to search, except if you're using an agent, a registered MARA agent. Then the registered MARA agent will be the one to go through all this for you. But hey, they will still ask you for all this information because the MARA agent doesn't know your school. They will not be the one to go through to get your transcript. They don't know your family members that you want to add in your visa. So you need to do all that. And during your visa time is an opportunity to put all your aunties and uncles that you know. So in case tomorrow you want to invite them, it will be easy because they're already in the system as your family member. For those of you that want to come through employer's visa, the steps is almost the same. First thing I will tell you guys is, if your occupation is not a licensed occupation, please try as much as possible to get your assessment done. You can go through the same route, the same assessing body to get your assessment ready. If your occupation that you're going for requires English, make sure you have written your English down. So once you have done with all that, then you can go ahead now and say, I am looking for a job. Use any of the job apps in Australia. Seek.com.au is my go-to app. There are Jora, there is Careers One and others. Start applying for a job. When you are doing that, in your resume, you would also put it that you have a positive assessment with, you mentioned that assessing body. It will help them to know that, oh, you have even gone a long way to do the needful. Once you are accepted, they will ask you for that certification that you used and your English test and some other things that they would ask you. You submit to them, then employer will be the one to take it from here. So that is the difference from General Skilled Immigration pathway with employer's sponsored visa. If you want to get a better chances with employer sponsored visa, try to assess your document with the assessing bodies in Australia. If not, try the General Skilled Immigration pathway. So I hope this video would help someone that wants to start up their process to have an idea of what to do. And if you have any question, you can always send me a message through my Instagram account, which is the same name with my YouTube, and I'm happy to answer all your questions. But first of all, you have to also do your research, all right? So you have an idea of all these things that I'm talking about. All the best for anyone that wants to start off this process, and I wish you best of luck.